Welcome. Thank you for pushing play on this video. Welcome to the Lion's Roar vlog. I'm about to jump into Genesis chapter 1, reading through the entire Bible. Well, most of it. And also the Apocrypha, the Keeper Nagast, the scrolls, the Dead Sea Scrolls. I have the testaments of the 12 sons. I have all sorts of things that I'm going to get into on this vlog. And then we're going to read and deal with the real as it relates to the scriptures and the truth about them, like God's name, everything. We about to get into it, but I'm going to start with Genesis chapter 1. And I'm probably going to get Genesis chapter 1 and 2 done on this video. So let's go ahead and jump into it. In the beginning, when God created the heavens and the earth was a formless void, and darkness covered the face of the deep, while a wind from God swept over the face of the waters. Now, so first things first. One thing that we have to deal with as we read through this Bible and as we read through the scriptures, you're going to read through it with me. And if you're going to allow me to be the voice that reads these words to you, and I'm just going to give my raw, honest, feedback and opinions, things that I know for a fact, things that I don't know, that I'm going to say, hey, we should Google that together. And then next time we could talk about that and look that information up, and maybe I'll present about that. So we're going to keep it all the way 100 real right here. I'm not about to sugarcoat and be trying to appease everybody who wants to hear certain words. It's not happening. Okay? It's not happening. If you don't understand something that I'm saying, I encourage you, go do your own research. Do not just take my word for it just because it sounds like I know what I'm talking about, because I could. Who am I? You should do your own research, okay? This word God, the first time it's ever used on the planet is used with the English, okay? God and Lord, both of those words never made any reference to the highest one before the English made their translation of the Latin Vulgate. The Latin Vulgate was the first translation of the Hebrew scriptures into a different culture, language, however you want to say it. Okay? So when I say God or Lord here, please understand that I know in my head when I look at that, there's something in my spirit that clicks and says, hey, we're talking about the highest one. Because before these English men, humans, ever used God or Lord for the name, it was always something else. But just for the sake of doing these videos and not having to explain this all the time, which I'm going to do it regularly, just please understand that when I say God or Lord here, for those of you who really know what I just said, please understand that I know the truth about that thing, okay? And you should too. And even though we use the term God and Lord in English, please understand it right there where it says God or Lord, it would have made reference to the highest one, Jehovah, Elohim, Yahweh, however you want to see it, but it wasn't God or Lord, okay? All right, now let's keep going. So it says, then God said, let there be light. So there was formless void, and darkness covered the face of the deep, okay? Now, that's interesting, that face of the deep, because what was that deep? You know, what was the deep? Yeah, that's just always been interesting to me. And it says, while a wind from God swept over, and actually I have a footnote here that says, or while the Spirit of the Most High, or the Spirit of God. See, this is why you have to understand metaphors in the scriptures, because many things that the Hebrews wrote were very poetry-driven, very picturesque, if you will, which means that that wind from God represents the power of the Most High, the supernatural spirit, if you will, the energy that allowed life to even be, the spirit that allowed life to even be, okay? So it said it swept or it moved over the face of the waters. Now, it's very interesting that it says the face of the waters, because if we go off creation, later on is when the water enters the planet. But it says right here, it was a spirit that swept over the face of the waters. So like what I just said, what was that deep that it was talking about? Listen, come on, man. Are y'all following? There was water there. Water was in the beginning. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into this topic here, because a lot of people who don't understand this angle, they would try to probably vilify me and ostracize me and look like, oh, he's not talking the truth. No. But check this. I truly believe, y'all, listen very deep to what I'm about to say. I truly believe that a lot of the account of the beginning as things are being created, it's in the water. That's just my personal opinion. I believe they planned, they spoke, and from the water things came forth. It says it right here. In a roundabout way. From the water, those things came. Now, if you go study science, and if you're real with yourself, because we know that evolution ain't over the spirit. Well, at least if you follow the scriptures, if you follow this path that I follow. So if you go study science, science talks about it. All life started in the water. It does. The problem is that they try and say, oh, well, you should be worshiping that process because, these men. So I'm just saying that's just something very interesting right there. It's water already accounted for. Ain't even nothing been created yet. They don't be paying no attention to that. That's all good. Let's keep going. Then God said, or then the Most High said, let there be light. And there was light. Okay? Light can be akin to power. Light can be akin to seeing. Light can be akin to knowledge. Light can be akin to agreement. Because if you walk into a dark room, you're gonna be in disagreement because you're gonna be running into all sorts of stuff. You're gonna be in disagreement with the room until you turn that light on. Then you're gonna be able to see what's going on. Your agreement is gonna be moving around the room properly. Okay, so let there be light. Okay, and God saw that the light was good. The Most High saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. And he called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening and there was morning the first day. So we're talking about literal. Okay, so now we're seeing the cycle of the day, meaning like it just wasn't gonna only be light. It was that sun was gonna have to go somewhere, or whatever. What caused the light was gonna have to move somewhere else, so it wasn't gonna always be light. Okay. And so God said, or the Most High said, let there be a dome in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from waters. Now, this is very interesting. This is very interesting. Let there be a dome in the midst of the waters. So then, if we're saying that, and the water was already there, think about this now. When you look at the earth, first of all, well, wherever you are, it could be a dome wherever you are, technically. But that dome back in Hebrew was not the same dome as what we understand. So that could have been a covering, an encapsulation, or what have you. But it was separated. So was this water, this energy of water larger than just the planet? Was it the galaxy at large, and then all of a sudden these things start, like, who knows? I don't know, but it's very interesting to think about because there are separations. He made the dome and separated the waters that were under the dome from the waters that were above the dome. So there's water everywhere. Think about, okay, under, above, that means it's water everywhere. So there's a separation. Okay, so the Most High God called the dome sky, okay? And there was evening and there was morning the second day, so the covering. So like I said, it ain't just talking about a half, like a dome, like because a lot of people think a dome is like what goes over a half sphere, if you will, what's over an arena or something like that. It just told you what the dome was. It was the sky. It, like what I just said. Was it the thing that encapsulated and kept? So then that's the whole sphere. So then was the sphere again, like what it said, the water above and below? If you know your science, which I'm a science guy, so you're going to hear me talk about science a lot, but these scriptures talk about science a lot. They do. So if you know your science, then there's different atmospheres. The ocean is an atmosphere. Deeper ocean is an atmosphere. Deeper ocean is an atmosphere. Then come up to the shallow, it's an atmosphere. Leave out the ocean, come into the ground, and that's an atmosphere. Go up to a certain certain height, that's an atmosphere. Go past that, that's an atmosphere. Go past that, that's a different atmosphere. Keep going up past that, higher, that's a different atmosphere. You go up into space, that's different. Atmospheric pressure is different. Keep going further into space, it's different. So he called the dome sky, and there was evening and there was morning the second day, or the second time that there was work done. Okay, because I don't think that it was a literal human day. A lot of people could say, "Oh, well, it could have been anything." Yeah, it could have been anything. But the reality is when we look at science, you can't deny science. The Most High don't want you denying science. It's just that what happens is that the American church vilifies science as this thing. Is like it can only be like, from their angle, it's religious. But they take this angle like, oh, it's only God. Oh, it's only the scriptures. There's things going on in the scriptures that if you don't know the science of, you're not even going to be able to describe them or explain them or teach them to people. So what are we doing? What have we been doing? What have they been doing? Because I'm not doing it. Now I'm just saying. Anyway, let me keep moving. And the Most High said, let the waters under the sky be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear. Let the waters under the sky be gathered into one place, and let the dry land appear. Now, here's what you have to, and it was so. And we're on verse 10. Here's what you have to realize about that separation. Pay very close attention. Sometimes you need to slow down when you read and really see what it's saying. It says, let the waters under the sky be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear. Now, if you know your science, because we're going to keep talking about science where we have to. If you know your science, you know that the first earth, the original, was only land. The ground was watered by springs. The water came up out of the earth, and it came up and it blew and spring. It like a geyser, and it watered the ground that way. Okay? So, this is written actually. So you have to look at this. That is what it's saying. Let the water be gathered into one place. It doesn't mean the oceans yet. It's saying the water was under the ground. That's what it's saying. There was the water, boom, there. Now the ground over the water, boom, there, and it's good, and it's so. Okay, it's not telling you that there were waterways and things made and all this separated. That's not what it's saying yet. Because again, we must understand we know this at the beginning. All of science knows that you can't deny it. You would be foolish to deny it. It's the brains that the Most High God gave us. It's the God-given brains that even allow us to research and figure these things out. We would be foolish to not pay attention to that. Okay, so we must know that the beginning, the water was under the ground. Okay, so that's what it just said it right there. So he called the dry land earth, and the waters that were gathered together he called seas, and he saw that it was good. Now, right here, you would say the waters together. Well, it's right there. It says seas. Yeah, and I get it. Yeah, their words. You have to understand, there are seas under the ground right now, for real. If you know this, then you know this. You can go underground and find big old deep rivers under there, under the earth. that's not connected to no waterway on top of the earth. So like I said at the beginning of this video, when we go through these things, we're going to talk about these things just, hey, man, we got to talk about it for what it is, for how we see it, because that's what it is. But then the spirit and the anointing is going to guide us and lead us. You're going to see it, but just watch. Man, you're going to learn so much, and so am I. So we here right now. This is, it's time for this right now. Okay. So he says it was so, and he saw that it was good. Made that separation between the land and the sea. Then the Most High said, let the earth then God said, then the Most High God said, let the earth put forth vegetation, plants yielding seed and fruit trees of every kind on earth that bear fruit with the seed in it. And it was so. Not this new GMO stuff with no seed in it that they, I don't want to get my videos flagged, but y'all already know who's the culprits. You ain't got to look too far to see who's out here producing fake vegetables with no seeds in it. It says right here with the seed in it. So if they take the seed out, what is that saying? They don't want you close to your maker, man. They don't want you close to what you're supposed to be, yo. And that's true right there. The earth brought forth vegetation, plants yielding seed of every kind, and trees of every kind, bearing fruit with the seed in it. And the Most High saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning the third day. Hey, by the way, I have a scripture here, and it says the Most High ever so often. I don't know if they just decided to just let it be in there. They didn't want to change God every single time. But there are some times when I say the Most High, I see God. But there are other times when I read it literally, and it says in my scriptures, the Most High. Or it makes reference to like Elohim or something like that. So I'm just saying. All right, the highest one. Okay, so God saw that it was good, and there was evening and there was morning the third day. And then the Most High said, let there be lights in the dome of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them be signs for the seasons and for the days and for the years. And let them be lights in the dome of the sky to give light upon the earth. And it was so. Now, ain't this interesting? Because when you go back up there, it says that there was another separation of the light, right? So what I'm saying is that I think that this is showing there was a planning and then an action. That's just me. I don't know. You know what you think about that? I think that it's kind of giving you sort of like, you know how if you have an outline of something and like the pre-outline gives you the sort of the chapter and the main, points throughout the chapter. And then once you go and you look at a bigger outline, you can see the information of the main points. I think it's something like that. Or maybe it's like, again, it's a planning, or perhaps it was a literal different separation of light and dark than the one that that Moses just specifically wrote about here, because that's who penned the Torah, was Moses. If you don't know that, Masha, if you will. Okay, if we want to, Moshe, or if you want to say get close to what his name originally was. But Moses, yeah, he was the one who had the information to jot that stuff down. Well, because his people was the Hebrews. He ended up being the leader of them when they left up out of Egypt. So God tasked him with being the one. And who would have knew that? All them Hebrews that he helped up out of there would have told them like, yeah, this is what we know from the beginning. Coming back to our people from then to now, here we go. And then boom, from Moses, he was to transcribe and continue transcribing with Joshua, Caleb, all them moving forward. That's how it went, okay? So a lot of people are like, oh, who even wrote that down? That's how, okay? Because he made the promise with a specific people from the beginning, and even them people's families was deviating and tripping and doing too much. And that's how come you got a deviation. We could talk about Ishmael and Muhammad later from Ishmael. Yeah, that's why the Quran is on the earth. The Quran starts just like the Torah because Ishmael was Abraham's son. Ishmael loved his dad, and Ishmael, the progenitor of all the Middle Eastern cultures, was Hebrew. That's why the Quran starts Hebrew. not because they stole it, but because Ishmael's Abraham's son. They don't never account for that though. Just like they don't like to account for the fact that Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, which is a title that was not her name. So all you black folks calling her, oh, Queen Sheba, that's not her name. The Queen of Sheba is a title. And don't listen, I have a book that I ain't even got it in front of me right now. If I pulled it out and showed you the cover, you wouldn't be able to say nothing to me because I done read the whole thing. So I know what I'm talking about. So nobody try to do the debate stuff. You're gonna make yourself look bad. I promise you that one. I know my stuff. So we have to understand why we have this information, how we have this information. A lot of people don't understand that, and they don't never want to understand it because it's always supposed to be that white man's book. And I got to be careful because I don't want to get my stuff flagged, because you know how they be tripping. You say anything, here they come with they anti-Semitic, want you to be quiet and shut up because they want to be the only ones got something to say. Man, the Most High is with those who got his voice in them, so ain't nobody shutting his voice down right now. It's not happening. But you do have to be careful. So let me keep pushing. So we see this separation of light that's different from the original up what we just got done reading. So now we're seeing the separation of the days, like, you know. So he says it was so. The Most High God made the two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night and the stars. The moon is that lesser light. But the moon reflects the sun. So that's very interesting, you know, that they are, you know, hinging on each other. And the moon is not always in that sky. However, here's the thing. The sun is so powerful. That's why you can still see in the night sky even when the moon ain't up there. That's the sun. That's the sun. It's just shadowed. All right, let's keep going. So the Most High set them in the dome of the sky. So that's our dome. And the sky is all over the earth. So that's a sphere, not just a half sphere, okay? So he says, the Most High set them in the dome of the sky to give light upon the earth, to rule over the day and over the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And the Most High saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning the fourth day. And the Most High God said, God said, let the waters bring forth swarms of living creatures. Now, okay, I'm going to keep reading this. And then I'm going to go to verse 31. And the Most High God said, let the waters bring forth. Remember what I said at the beginning. Let the waters bring forth swarms of living creatures. And let birds fly above the earth across the dome of the sky. So the Most High God created the great sea monsters and every living creature that moves of every kind with which the waters swarm, and every winged bird of every kind. And the Most High saw that it was good. God saw that it was good. Now, right here, boom. First things first. The first life that we hear about came from where? The water. The water. You want to know what's very interesting about the Quran? I find this very interesting. I'm going to be real with you. And I don't believe that the culture at large the English, I don't believe that they were honest about certain things. I believe that they tried to strip certain things away to promote ignorance, or to promote just not knowing, or just to promote whatever they wanted to promote, and then have people stuck in confusion. Perfect. Confusion. The Quran speaks on that Adam and Eve, or the account of the beginning, was not, they say that it was not on earth. I don't believe that it was a different place. I believe it was a different part of the atmosphere, if you catch my drift. Remember we were talking about different layers of water? That's how come the first life you see outside of water, because water and land is still life and light. But the first living life that you see, it says, bring forth swarms of living creatures. And it didn't say, and in the skies, and here let that happen, and here let that happen. Now it does say that they were to be separated, so as there was a separation, so we know that they're different. But it clearly says, let the waters bring forth swarms of living creatures. Okay? There's living beings in the water. But again, let's talk about science. If you know your science, and if you go look at, listen, a lot of people say, oh, evolution is not of God because we have the account of the creation. Okay, first thing first. How come the Most High God couldn't have set things in motion and they evolved from that point? Yeah, we don't stop to think about that. Why do we think that something like a concept like evolution, as far as things evolving from the point where they were initiated, and because the science shows it, y'all, you're ignorant to ignore. It's ignorant to ignore it. Quite literally. Like, I feel like when it comes to some of this stuff, you got to just kind of deal with all levels. But at the end of the day, it's really about morality anyway. But when it comes to this, I feel like you could really push in and plug in and try and figure out what's going on. If you pay attention to the science, if you plug in smartly, intelligently, and you trust the Spirit. Because if you pray, the Spirit's going to definitely show you, but you still got work to do. And you do your research and you plug it in, you're going to see that the Most High God is still higher than everything, but you're going to see that the science plugs right into what the scriptures are saying about the beginning. You just have to really see it. Because so many people read this stuff and it's like, oh, because in that verse there, and that just happened after that verse, and that just happened after that verse. This stuff could have been taken hundreds of years to happen. It could be 700 years literally. And then that's the completion of how long it takes for this stuff to evolve. Okay, anyway, I'm just keep reading because I'll be losing people sometimes. I already know it because they be like, well, it's right there. That it. Some of this stuff, again, when you get cultures that get their hands on stuff like this and they want to water it down and try to like trick you and confuse you and stuff, you really do have to dig in. You really do have to know what's going on. You really do have to be, studying and really, really research and have an open mind too, but don't have so open of a mind that you start, you want to compromise with like your morality. That's not the thing to do at all when it comes to the scriptures. You can't do that. That's a no-no. Something is bad and you call it good. You asking for it at that point. And the things that's good you want to call bad because you want to be bad. Come on, bro. That equation is losing on the planet. Y'all who done that have been losing so big on the planet, y'all don't even realize it. So it's time to stop all that. But anyhow, so the great sea monsters of every living kind, or the great monster means behemoth, not monster, Godzilla, Mothra. No, it means like that whale is a monster of a whale. What is large? Okay. So, and the Most High created the great sea monsters and every living creature that moves of every kind, with which the waters swarm, and every winged bird of every kind. And the Most High saw that it was good. God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let birds multiply upon the earth. And there was evening, and there was morning, the fifth day. And the Most High said, let the earth bring forth living creatures of every kind, cattle and creeping things and wild animals of the earth of every kind. And it was so. Okay, so the earth. Now, let's talk about, we're going to dip into this science again. This is only going to be one chapter, I believe, because it's when you get I may not be able to do 2 chapters on these creation accounts because it's a lot to kind of commentate on. Let's look at this real quick. So it says, the ground, he says, everything that creeps upon the ground of every kind. Okay? So check this. Okay, wait, here we are. Let the earth bring forth living creatures of every kind, cattle and creeping things and wild animals of the earth of every kind. Now let's talk about evolution real fast. I know that's like a sacrilegious word because a lot of people are like, you're going to talk about evolution and you're talking about Genesis. Let's talk about evolution real fast, what they say. In evolution, it says that all beings were moving out of the water, and they all had different forms as they moved out of the water. Once they started moving out of the water and they started to adapt, and the fittest ones, now this is Darwin, okay? So the fittest ones, and it's not even Darwin, it's others too, you know. So the most fit ones are the ones who end up being the beings that have started to walk upon the earth, the mammals and things, and they've borrowed their minerals and all the stuff that they need to survive upon the earth from moving into the earth and needing to gather what they needed to, or in order to be able to exist there. So there's something that when it comes to the creation of the account of the creation, that I feel like is very revelatory about that. Maybe that could have been the case. The snake slithering on his stomach there on the ground. That's very revelatory. Because they say, well, he had all these limbs and things and he was walking around and all of a sudden he got cursed. But it makes a lot of sense that if all this stuff happened in the water, then if the snake got cursed in the water per se, however it happened, that's why it ain't never gained no legs in the evolutionary process. Because let's just say that thing was supposed to have had, it was supposed to be way more capable than it is to have to slither around like that. Think about it. It's not showing anything that it had any physical legs ever, even as per what the scripture says. Like in science, the snake has never been shown to have had physical limbs on earth. However, where it could have had them limbs is in that water, like the octopus, like everything that would have came up out the water would have had the nervous system without the bones and everything else, and maybe those things were gathered and happened along the way. Who knows? Am I trying to change what this scripture is saying? No, because it's only been taught to me by the English that a literal physical, and in my mind, I'm just going to be 100 with it. A literal physical Caucasian God, because, well, if his son looked like Jesus, then, well, you know, I'm just saying, because that's what they want. That's what they want you to believe. So I'm just going to tell you, we're going to keep it real. So they want me to believe that a literal Caucasian like God, like figure, person, being, like, because the let us make man in our image, they twist that out of proportion, right? Because the image could be what you think that you want the image to be, what you're thinking about, right? What you plan. The image of something is something like you could have an image of something before you even write down the ideas to initiate it. You have the image in your head. So it may not necessarily always mean that they were made in the literal image of they, and they were, and it does say we and us here up in the beginning. So it's not only one. Oops. So the whole, I'm just saying, so the whole thing is, again, we have to look at some of this stuff. Very interesting. Like I said, they say in the Quran that they think it happened in another planet. I don't think it happened in another planet. I think it happened right here. I think it was just in a different part of the atmosphere. And I just think that the English don't want to be honest about it. That's what I feel. But let's keep going. So the animals are here. He saw that it was good. And then the Most High God said, now we're about to get into the humans. And then I'm pretty sure we're about to be done after this. Yeah. Then the Most High said, let us make humankind. Let's look at our footnote here. It says Adam, A-D-A-M, or humankind, Adam, man. So the first human's name was not Adam. Let's deal with that now too. First woman's, or the first man, well, yeah, we could say the first human. It wasn't, it was just, or hey, if we deal with science, A-D-A-M-A-T-O-M, atom, you never know. Made of atoms. Do you understand? So anyway, let's keep going. So then the Most High said, let us make humankind in our image according to our likeness, meaning what we agree with and what we like and what we appear to, what we want them to appear as. But it also could have been in their likeness because perhaps it could have been that they are upright movers, or or perhaps their likeness could have been your nervous system, which is different than any other nervous system on the planet. The likeness, the image, okay? So it says, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the air and over the cattle and over all the wild animals of the earth. Let's look at our footnote here. It says, and over all the earth. And over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth, over everything and the entire earth. Humans, you're over it. Think about this, man. We humans, listen, you got humans on this planet right now that are so inhumane. They're inhumane to other humans. They're inhumane to animals. They're inhumane to the atmosphere and the biology at large. They're inhumane to the society. They're just completely, they don't care. And it's a lot of them. And a lot of them run these countries, man. They don't care. But it says right here, you humans were made to have dominion over this boy. This earth belongs to you. So who are the humans that's been running around drilling the earth into the ground? Literally drilling the earth to hell. Who are they that do that? Who are they that have been allowing these things to happen in these societies, and then your children are now caught up in things that they have no business being caught up in because of these evil, airhead, decrepit leaders? Who are they? Because right here it says you're supposed to have dominion over the earth. It does not mean that you're supposed to be poaching and killing the animals, but that's what they do. It does not mean that you're supposed to be trying to see okay. I'm most the Spirit saying keep going because I'll go in. So the Most High God created humankind in His image, and in the image of God He created them. Male and female He created them. Boom. I'm gonna leave it. Look, check this out. Something I just noticed. Check this out. It says so. Hold on. Then God said, we're going back up to verse 26 in Genesis chapter 1. Check this. Then God said, let us make humankind in our image according to our likeness. Us, our. Then God said, us, our. Then God is supposed to be one singular, right? No, because plural. Because it says, us, our. It says, then God said, let us make man in our image. Let us make man in our image. Let us make man in our image. Which meant what? There was probably a cabinet. How can we confirm this? Because if you go to Revelation, it's a cabinet in Revelation. What do you mean? Well, when John is talking about the prophecy that he's talking about, before he says that he sees the one who is like the Son of Man, who is supposed to represent the spirit of Yeshua, or the one that was Yeshua, and it says that he sees him get off of the throne and that spirit, that he comes back to the earth. there's elders around the Most High, and then there's elders. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people may say those elders wasn't God. They were talking about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That's the us. Here's the thing you have to realize. There's going to be something said in coming up here that I'm going to read when he gets to talking about the humans being like them. If the humans could be like them by something that they came in contact with, or a piece of information, or whatever it was that caused them to be like them, then you must understand something here. If the humans that they just made have the ability, because they were made in the image, right? Have the ability to then climb and be like them, what makes you think that it wasn't more of them that was all part of that? This is us together, and we're kindred. We're never gonna not be kindred, and we're always gonna move as one, and we're never gonna disagree. Now, am I wrong for saying that? No. In fact, that would be something you would really have to look at, because right there it says, then God, one singular plural, says, let us, or one singular, not plural, God. Then it says us, that's plural. Our, that's plural. Our image, that's plural. Our likeness, that's plural. Us make, that's plural. More than one. Now, was there one main head? I could see that. Again, Revelation says there's the one, and then there was the elders around him, and then there was everything else. That's what it says. Elders, meaning like, I'm the king, these my generals, when I'm not here, they in charge. Like, they're me. They represent me. We're us. They're us. Look, and check this out. The spirit of the Most High, when he made those that were like probably under him or whatever, he made himself anyway. So that's why that's why they say, hey, later, these humans could be like us before they know what's really going on with what makes us us. We're going to have to do this particular thing. And when the time comes, then we're going to let them rise back up. I happen to believe we're on that time right now on the earth. Right now. Because there's been a lot of people say, oh, Jesus come back tomorrow, 10 years. Right now. I believe the rapture is happening right now. They don't like dealing with the definition of rapture, but I'm going to get into that on this vlog. I'm going to do a short about the definition of rapture. They'll blow your mind. They run around talking about, they want you to think that Hollywood got you thinking that you gonna be I'm not even going to go there. When I talk about the rapture, that's when we gonna go there. The Most High blessed them, the humans, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply. What it said to the animals. Fill the earth and subdue it. By the way, that impression was not English. They were not speaking English to the first humans. They more than likely were telepathic, or if they weren't telepathic, it probably was some kind of a vibration or something, and the humans knew what it meant, right? So, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and every living thing that moves upon the earth. The Most High God said, see, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruit, you shall have them for food. With seeds. Hey, America, seeds in the fruit, please. Thank you. and to every beast of the earth. To every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the air, and to everything that creeps on the earth, everything that has the breath of life, I have given every green plant for food. And it was so. The Most High saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very good. And there was evening and there was morning, the sixth day. Black cat cow. We're gonna stop right there on chapter 2. I've already been going for 45 minutes. I did not expect this first one to be that long, but sometimes, man, when you going, I love this stuff, so I'm about to have a very good time. doing, I love this vlog. I was doing this vlog as Judah Speaks over on TikTok. I got deep, man. Yo, we had got into, I think we were coming up on numbers. I think I was almost up to numbers, yo. I think I was on numbers almost. I was almost done with Leviticus. I had done the book, the Wisdom of Solomon. I had done Second Esdras, and then I started on Genesis. So I had done, let's see, Solomon, Second Ezra, both of those books are the Apocrypha, by the way. Genesis, Exodus, and Leviticus. I was already 5 books in. And then all the TikTok stuff started. So I got rid of the TikTok stuff. And then I knew that I was going to start this vlog back up again because I had actually started it as Judah Speaks on YouTube some years back. But, everything happens for what it is. It's the Lions Roar vlog right now. I appreciate you for tapping in. Definitely hit that subscribe button. Share with people if you like the content. It's definitely more coming. We're about to go. If you ever wanted to read through the whole Bible and you just don't want to read it yourself and you want to have all this stuff broke down and you don't want to have to be the one asking all the questions that make people look at you weird and all that, this the vlog for you. I'm telling you right now, boy. Holla at your boy. Definitely come back. Definitely hit the subscribe button. Oh, hit the notification bell too so you can know when I post a new chapter or chapters. If we going in order and you don't want to miss nothing. I promise you. You don't want to miss nothing. You don't. So, holla at your boy.